You know, it's nice to not have everybody want to burn Ravensflock down or Ravens Nation down. It's nice to get a W, but I'm pretty sure y'all gonna feel how you feel. Let's get it. Let's go.
Introducing the Couch Rider Raven Report. Let's go. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, Ravens, hey, Ravens. We gon' ride out. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider.
For some of you Twitter gangsters, this is just a hobby, original sports perspective. You can't stop me. Couch Rider Report, it's reflective. Please respect it. You will get checked, and your knowledge will be tested. I ain't the coldest Raven, but this is my show. Shout out to the Barry White of rap for the beat, though.
Hey, welcome back to the home of original sports perspective from our couch to yours. This is your Couch Rider Raven saying, "Hey, what's up?" I think we're a little glitchy tonight. I don't know what's going on. Might have to go figure that issue out here in just a second. But thanks for tuning in. You know, we sit here, we have relaxed conversations about football, about the Baltimore Ravens mostly. You know, we'll have a couple of fans from, different areas in the AFC North happen to pop into the chat. They are welcome here, but, of course, we're going to give them a good ribbon. And if you are any of those, Ravensflock, AFC North, you are welcome here. Please hit the like button, hit subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's going down. As I have said, I am your Couch Rider Raven, Jermaine Lockett, saying, hey, man, thank you so much for being here. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with your boy on a Victory Monday. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah, I'm telling you, I like it. I love it. I want some more. I want some more of it. With that said, let's see who's in the room, and then we'll start chatting this up. And as you guys are coming in, I'm going to go ahead and fix an issue I have behind the scenes here. I think it's just too many programs running at the same time, and I'll work on that. Usually there is a race to get to the room. I'm going to see who's here in a second. Okay. While we are trying to figure that out, I do want to celebrate the fact that the Chiefs are 0-2. You heard it right. 0-2 votes. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful moment. All is right in the world. Except for, don't wish injuries on anybody, but Joe Burrow is injured and might be out like 3 months. It's craziness. All right, let's see who's here. Susan, what's up, man? Hey, man, how's Utah? How's everything going over there? What's good, man? It's good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. Hope everything is going well with you and the fam. And it's good to see another Raven come and celebrate a Victory Monday. I said that's a long time, yeah. Yeah, 3 months for Joe is a long time. They said it was a ligament tear or ligament damage, I say, of the worst kind that has the longest rehab time. So it looks like he will have to have surgery. He's looking at different options. But more than likely, Joe Burrow is going to be down for 3 months. And, they got the W. They are 2-0. They are atop of the AFC North right now, which is weird. But they got it right now. And Browning is their guy. So people are saying, hey, whether it's 6 or whether it's 9, they are here for a good time. I guess that's what's going on in Cincinnati. All right. So since we're here, we're going to get to it because Monday Night Football is on. 2 games tonight. But I'm not going to try and take up too much time so we can get back to those games. So we'll start with our moment of controversy. Comes a moment of controversy for this week. I had to think about it, man. I was like, what do we get into? We've talked about all types of craziness here. I believe I wanted to talk about different types of mayo, but I think we covered that already. Whether it was Hellman's mayonnaise or Miracle Whip, and I think there's only one right answer on that. Of course, that was helmets mayonnaise because Miracle Whip is absolute trash. And I really don't care if they ever, never sponsor me. It would be worth it just to not have to roll with Miracle Whip. Today's topic, though, is the tush push. When it comes to the tush push, the league spoke previously that they wanted the tush push to stick around. And here it is. It's still here. But the problem with the tush push, I think it was brought up in a few talk shows today, is that how the people that are doing it and that are successful that are doing it, the way that they are lined up should have been caught a long time ago by the referees because they are lined up with their head beyond where the ball is. So they are automatically offside starting out. And then, yeah, it just, when they're actually doing it the right way, the legal way, they're not going to be as successful with it because they're not already gaining the advantage before the snap of the ball. So, in my opinion, when it comes to the tush push, I think it needs to go away. I don't think anybody should be pushing on your hips to push you across the line, just like you cannot gain momentum off of somebody else to block a field goal. I think on the opposite offensive side of the ball, you should not be gaining momentum to push a pile when it's basically somebody else is pushing your hips through the pile. And I know it's really hard to really get scientific to it, but it's just as simple as we call it, is a push of the tush. And I think that QB sneaks, sure, I think QB sneaks are a go. But I think they're also, people need to be lined up correctly, because if they're going to call the false or the, illegal formation on the left and right tackles for them having 1 foot back or them not being completely lined up the right way on as far as their head going past where the center's hips are or his buttocks, then they need to be just as judgy when it comes to the tush push. Yes, I believe Hurts has been very successful at doing the tush push for a very long time. And the Eagles are great at it. I'm sick of it. And it's not because I'm sick of them succeeding at it. I'm sick of the play being utilized in one way, but at the same time, we can't hurdle over somebody on special teams to block a field goal. You can't even touch this. You can't even touch the center if you decide to hurdle or if you decide to jump over somebody, but you can't actually use another player to your advantage to get over and block a field goal. Why should you be able to use other players to get advantage to push a pile? That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, because it's just going to get out of hand. And I also think that players are going to end up getting injured because defensive players are going to get fed up. You start coming for our defensive players' knees, and you start continuing to get successful on this play to the point of pissing them all the way off, things happen underneath those piles. And injuries are going to happen, and some real dirty stuff's going to happen on the bottom of that pile. And, I mean, let's just call it what it is. Players get really dirty. Imagine doing a tush push in the Ndamukong Suh era. Do you think you would have got away with it? Ndamukong would have made you pay under that pile to where you would have never thought about it again. It would have been a career decision. Be like, hey, do I get bullied under this pile by Ndamukong in ways that I can't even imagine? Get my face stepped on by the time I get up? All those different things. Because that was the type of player he was. Good thing these guys, a few of them, have really good character. But what if they didn't? What if it got to that point? What if teams got so nasty with one another because they were sick of this tush push that bad things continue to happen under the pile? Something to think about. Let's hear what your thoughts are. Well, Brooke is here in the room. What's good, girl? All right. Susan says tush push looks like a rugby scrum, which is played after a flag for a forward pass or something like that. Yes, it does kind of look like a rugby scrum, but this isn't rugby. And this is American football. I mean, let's just, we know that there's a difference between a rugby scrum, and we know there's a difference between American football. In the rugby scrum, isn't the ball pushed backwards, right? And then kicked out to the side for somebody else to run, at least from what I could tell. But in this tush push, they're supposed to be lining up with the ball ahead of them, and the centers are lining up with their head already past the line of scrimmage over the ball to make the snap easier and for them to be able to get the low ground already, which should not be legal. All right. So it says, I think it's a rugby game type of play, but not for football. Amen, brother. Amen. All right. Who else is in the room? Y'all go ahead and comment in the chat. So we were commenting about the tush push. And like I said, in my opinion, I think it should go away. I think even though it works for the Ravens when we do it with the tight end, I still think that as long as we're not pushing the tush, I think the QB sneaks are fine because we've been doing those for years. But having that additional two people behind you to push the pile, that should be thrown out. And having a lineman line up in an unfair advantage type of way, that should be thrown out as well. All right, moving forward. So like I said, this past week, we have dealt with some issues. We have dealt with Ravensflock wanting to burn all of Baltimore down and completely just give up on the brass of this team. It has been embarrassing how bad of losers we are. And y'all probably like, what? Yes, I said it. We are some terrible, terrible losers. When things are going right and we are winning, this team is on cloud nine. It is magical. I absolutely love the flock when we're getting the win because all the funny memes come out, a little bit of fun trash talk and things like that. But when we lose, we turn on each other and go all the way off because we turn into the Lamar Nation, Fire Harbaugh Nation, and then everybody else. So, and then it's just like random people just, why are you throwing death threats into Eric Costa's wife's inbox? I don't get that. I don't understand it. Never will. She ain't got nothing to do with it. She ain't been on the field. She ain't made a play. She got jerseys, but they all bought jerseys, man. Come on. Leave Miss EDC alone. She's a fan just like the rest of us. But this is the stuff y'all been coming up with, man. Fire EDC. He put the roster together. He put a fantastic roster together. This is probably the best offseason, one of the best off seasons Eric Costa has had. And he's had some great ones. But here you are like, yo, fire EDC too. And it was like, okay, well, here's some more hate. You know, Kevin O was like, hey, what are your takeaways? Somebody's just like, fire Harbaugh. And then here we go. Another one. Thanks for playing fourth quarter this time. Did Harbaugh get any better? No, he did not. Fire Harbaugh. We got the W. You still want this guy fired. Like, oh my gosh. Like, chill out, bro. Okay, here we are. Another one. Ravens 024. If the Ravens lose this game, I'm burning all my jerseys and getting a Fire Harbaugh custom jersey. You would go through all of that just to make a point about how much you dislike the coach. Majority of y'all are like this. Burn it all. Burn it all down. You're like, what? No, this is our team. We still got to be resilient, folks. We still have to practice some type of resiliency after this type of adversity. But y'all be going and bringing up the past. The last time I checked, this is week 1. Or so this is week 2 now. But that was week 1. And y'all decided to take one loss and clump it over into history and bring up the amount of 17 or amount of double-digit second half leads blown without even taking a look at the full list. Because you look at the full list of people on there. Guess what? 2 names are on that list in I want to say top 6 at least. Andy Reid and Bill Belichick. Andy Reid and Bill Belichick are on that list. 2 greats, which means they take the lead a lot, which means John Harbaugh is on the same list of coaches that take the lead a lot. All right, moving forward into more of this hate that y'all had for the Ravens. Here it is. It's like the NFL celebrating the dub. Like, hey, Ravens get the win. Hey, he was like, go Ravens, but still fire Harbaugh. You just feeling that in your soul. You just need to throw that out there today, huh? Okay. Here's another one. 23 hours ago, the trillionaire. Sir Harbaugh don't win this year. Fire him. Just throw it all in the trash can if Harbaugh doesn't get it there. Because of the fact that they had a first and goal from the 1 yard line and didn't score. Do I think that might have been a bad coaching decision? I don't know. Jackson had the balls where they were supposed to go. He had great ball placement. There were just 2 drops in the end zone. One of them would have been a possible pick. Is it bad coaching? I think the execution of the play went well, except for the one that almost was a pick. It's just our guys couldn't catch. I mean, let's just call that what it is. 2 drops in the end zone on what should have been the road toward a Jackson 5. And that did not happen. All right, here we are. Some more hate. Still fire Harbaugh and ZO based on not adjusting his conservative blank coverage in fourth quarter again. I do believe we could be a little bit more aggressive, but it is not throw the whole team in the trash can just because of a couple of games. Here we are. Mr. Beeg says fire Harbaugh. Is any other hate out there? I think we're good. I think all the hate is done. Let's pay some bills. Let's see. Brooks says, okay. Says, I don't get what EDC has to do with anything, right? I'm just like, okay, why does Miss EDC, why is she catching the smoke? Why is the Ravens queen catching the smoke right now about a Ravens loss? Stay out her inbox. If you ain't got nothing nice to say when it comes to Miss Ravens queen, you leave her alone. You let her be. Souza says, off topic, but 6 seconds and the Bucks just took the lead. Okay. Appreciate you. Harv's got to take some accountability for blunders, and he doesn't. So, yes, when it comes to coaching and the press, the PR piece of it, Harbaugh could be better when it comes to saying, hey, this is on the coaches just as much as it is on the players, instead of saying it's about execution and they didn't execute. Did you teach it correctly? Did you hold them accountable in practice when they weren't doing these things in practice? Did you revisit? It can be on coaching just as much as it is on the players. But at the same time, you got players, and like I said, the flock was split. Even 2 players on the team were split in opinions. They weren't split in, I hate you, not you ain't coming to the Christmas party type stuff, because I believe that Hamilton and Humphrey, they get along just fine. But they were split on their opinions when it came to the flock. You know, one was like, hey, yeah, we got to hold ourselves a player. The best players will play. Hold ourselves accountable. The best players will play. The other one had a different opinion. And he said, hey, I have a different opinion. Marlo's a grown man. He going to have his opinion. I'm going to have mine. And he told it like it is. I told it like it was. Like how he felt it was. His perspective. All right. So let's see. Yeah, Brooke says, yeah, Mark should have caught something. Should have. We do not need Mark to have continuation of dropsies right now. We need him to make up for the past and show that he is still that dude. All right. Brooke says, we're no different than the Steelers fans. They want Tomlin gone. Well, I mean, who else to better ask than a resident Steeler? Kenny D, man, what happened this weekend? Is Aaron the real deal, or we sitting here looking at a guy who is past the twilight of his career? Brooke says, what Kyle said is a sign of immaturity. So immaturity, though. I get it. Okay, so what Kyle said is the result of immature. Their opinion was kind of the same. So they were kind of they were somewhat on the same page, but also just like, hey, I'm finna speak my piece. You know, am I freezing up? Because I can see myself freezing on this end. I'm not sure why. Brooke says, hey, Kenny, sorry y'all sucked yesterday. I don't think she's sorry, Kenny. Adit says, is the number of blown leads by Harbaugh partly inflated with him coaching much longer than most coaches and thus probably a larger sample size of games with double-digit leads. Okay. Brooks says we're not freezing. This is good. So the leads by Harbaugh inflated by him coaching much longer than most coaches and thus probably a larger sample size of games with double-digit. We winning, bro. I mean, like you look at it, man, we come out there firing. We come out firing and we're usually up. And then, yes, conservative play calling as far as the defense allows those teams to come back. I still believe that we should put our ears back and just completely blitz the crap out of teams and take them down. There's no reason right now that Nnamdi Madubuike should be leading the team in sacks. He's had 1 sack each week, and we did pretty well the season, I want to say 2 seasons ago, when he had 1 sack per game just about. And he got commanded a pretty big contract. I like that, but at the same time, I want some more of our guys to eat. 2 sacks in one game. This game, it's not enough. 1 sack last game. It's not enough. We need to get back there, especially when we got guys like Mike Green chomping at the bit. I know that, Calvin Noy is injured and is going to be out, but we got dogs, and they are hungry. We need to feed them. Okay. All right, Kennedy says, "Oh man, Rodgers hasn't thrown one deep ball yet, so he's scared he will mess up his arm." We did see a deep ball. It was just incomplete. It was on the run. And speaking of quarterbacks on the run throwing the ball, I told you before this game happened, now between the Seahawks and the Steelers and Mike Harris, I'm talking about the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. What did I tell you what happens when Joe Flacco rolls out? If he rolls out of the pocket and tries to throw the ball, bad things happen. And what do we see? We saw almost a pick 6 if Nate Wiggins didn't get walked down by an offensive lineman. Number 75 walked this man. Nate's supposed to be blazing fast. He should have scooted past this guy into the end zone with no problem. He gets walked down by one of the biggest men on the team. You know what? If I am the coach of the Browns, I am giving this guy kudos, man, because he did his thing. He helped secure he helped them to not helped us to not get a touchdown on that drive. We only got 3. It's crazy. All right. So Brooke says she is not sorry, by the way. Okay. D says, I feel like there's something worse. Turnover ratio in the fourth quarter in these losses compared to the turnover ratio in the quarters 1 to 3. Brooke says, we play soft sometimes. We let up when we have the lead, and I don't like that. Yeah, taking the foot off the gas is not a good thing. Bill Belichick, back in 2007, people hated him because he kept the gas on. Well, he got tired of sitting here losing games that were so close because he decided to take his foot off the gas. We should be one of those teams like the 2007 Patriots who just knew, hey, they about to go ham. They might have been the 2008 Patriots. They just decided to go all the way off on teams and blow them all the way out to send that message. We need to continue to do that. Kennedy says Rodgers hadn't thrown one pass over 50 yards, a complete pass over 50 yards. Brooke says Flacco's still a Raven. He was trying to help us. The love's there. I feel you. Aditi says blocked punt this week and almost blocked the game-winning field goal. Who on staff helps design these blocking plays? Well, that would be our special teams ace, folks. Matt Hummel, I think it's Matt Hummel. Jake Hummel. So I got a friend named Matt Hummel. He's an awesome guy. But Jake Hummel, shout out to this guy. I mean, when we're getting there and the special teams is working, I'm excited. And of course, John Harbaugh has his hand in special teams as a former special teams guy. But I'm pretty sure it's not him by himself putting these special teams packages in. But you can even see him during the offseason actually coaching special team skills. All right. So we move on to the next topic. Resiliency after adversity was that topic. And so we are going to put a kibosh on that one and move forward into John Harbaugh's steadying influence. So when it comes to Harbaugh's steadying influence, well, it's just the consistency. There is a reason that Harbaugh is still here. A lot of people don't want to hear it. They frustrated because this dude has been around for so long, and because he's been around so long, we have good wins, but we also have some bad losses. And when it comes to those bad losses, people get extremely frustrated. But when it comes down to it, the win against the Browns proves that the talent is elite, but coaching still matters. Eric DeCosta did his thing putting this roster together. Week 1 showed that it took more than just the talent alone to win the game. It took the coaching. And was the coaching off? Yes, the coaching was off. Should we have went for it on 4th down with 3 to go because we didn't trust our defense because they had already given up 40 points or given up 38 points? Yes. Just could have totally went for it on that. So despite the drama and the pressure, the roster is stacked. Jackson, Henry, elite units. But the Browns win show players can overcome chaos if coaching puts them in positions. Some fans think the head coach holds them back. That comes from Times of India, as far as the India Times. Yes, coaching will hold you back no matter how elite your roster is. We've seen that throughout many different sports. And so people want to sit here and they hate on Harbs as a whole, but it is kind of a gift and a curse. When we get the W's, you can't just say that was Lamar. When we get the L's, you can't just say that's Harbs. It's all or none. They're tied together. Yes, we see the magnificence of one Lamar Jackson. We see him putting the team on his back week by week. It's nothing new. But when we get those W's, recognize that there is a coaching scheme. There was preparation for that team. There are things that went into play that took Lamar Jackson's talents to the next level because it was good coaching. Good coaching from Todd Monken when he went together with the pass coordinator and got that offense together and the run game coordinator and figure how they can use Lamar and Derrick Henry and Justice Hill. And guess who was at the head of the table? Harbaugh. John Harbaugh. When it comes to the good, you got to give him his credit. When it comes to the bad, sure, come for his throat, but recognize that Lamar might have made mistakes in that too. Don't sit here and think, oh, Lamar's perfect, and then it's all on Harbs, and it's his fault. I'm saying team losses. I've been saying this for years. When we lose as a team. When we win as a team. It wasn't Lamar Jackson was insanely good. But, of course, when we lose, they start to go to this continuum. It is the continuum of hate. And I don't know for those of you who hadn't seen this before, we're usually somewhere along the lines over here of MVP Lamar, or excuse me, MV3. We're excited when we get the W. Or sometimes we get all ticked off and we're saying, hey, you know what? Bench Fale. And I probably should go ahead and move Stevens off of ours because he's already in the trash can. He's in with Jets. And then everybody's just like, fire somebody. Just fire anybody. Fire somebody after an L. And then y'all complain and say Lamar ain't got no help when he does have help. Y'all seen Zay do put up. I think he was leading the league in receiving in week 1. It's craziness. Next is the Fire Harbs. I'm pretty sure that is starting to come over here, whether we win or lose now, because I think we just ain't satisfied. And then at the end over here, we got throwing the team in the trash can. I think after week 1, you guys were all the way on the left. And I'd say today, if we swapped out the Stevens is Cheeks with Fire Harbs, you would be somewhere around in between benching Fa'ale and firing Harbaugh. Yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. At least that's where some of the flock is. I'm with keeping Harbs. That's just my opinion. So that is your continuum of hate with the Ravens. Let's pay some bills here. All right. So it looks like a little banter back and forth between Brooke and Kenny. Anything interesting? Let's go with a deep. I think you actually mentioned that already. Okay, let's go with Brooke says she loves Harbs. I'm just tired of the lack of accountability. Kenny D wants a new quarterback. he wants he wants Will Howard under center for the Steelers, and that's understandable. This is a guy that I think was a steal for the Steelers. Pun intended. This guy takes his team to a national championship and doesn't get drafted till the fourth round. He may be a steal. Let's just call that what it is. The Steelers may have gotten over one there, and good on them. The thing is, their general manager is one of those guys. He knows how to pick up solid players in late rounds. Everybody's saying loving Harsh don't like the accountability. At least the Chiefs are winless. Really makes it a great week. It's a cherry on top to a wonderful week of a win. We should be excited about that. Burke says, do you think Harv should have challenged that Andrews touchdown, not touchdown? I don't. Because I don't think they would have overturned it because it looked just like the Lee Evans play when we played against the Patriots back in the day. It got punched out. It probably would have been considered not held long enough. It is very frustrating when those things happen, but you know what? It should have been a touchdown twice. And here we are. We got drops. Everything else. Yeah, Burke says Zay has been rolling. Yes, he has. The question is where is Bateman? This is a guy who we have been excited about cooking. And he's been one of the guys last season. I mean, he really turned all the way up. And I know we are making time for DeAndre Hopkins, and I kind of owe him a little bit of apology. I said some things. I did not say he's washed, but I did say he's there to move change. He's not necessarily there for the deep threat business or creating separation. Apparently, separation don't matter. He can have somebody like on him like white on rice in the snowstorm, and it don't matter. It doesn't matter. He's going to catch the ball either way. So it was exciting to see we got 2 games down. We got 2 touchdowns from Nuke. And, of course, another guy who's got touchdowns with every single catch, Devontae Walker. Tez Walker has 3 catches, 3 touchdowns. One catch was last season. And this year, he's got 2 catches, same game, 2 touchdowns. Very nice. Let's keep that party going. Y'all remember when Bateman had, I think, 17 first downs and off of 17 catches. Let's keep those parties going. Brooks says, I think Bate will show up next week against the Lions. I think we're gonna need that. We're gonna need all hands on deck for this one because the Lions just sit there and blew the doors off a guy who wears fingernail polish and who plays at quarterback. I mean, don't get me wrong, Bate wears fingernail polish too, but I like Bate. I just never was a fan of the Bears quarterback. Sorry, Caleb Williams is not the guy. I believe Justin Fields was the guy for the Bears. They just refused to put as many weapons around him as they have with Caleb. And I think Fields is better than Caleb. I said that from the jump. People got mad, but it's whatever. Yes, Nuke went off. He should have had 2 touchdowns that game. One of them, it looked like I don't think he got touched until after he was already over the line, but that's just my opinion. He's definitely not washed. And I think I said something about the speed. Because I think he showed up as one of the fastest players out there, but I was like, when it comes to change of direction, shifting this or whatever, that you still have to be able to put those things together kind of like how Zay does. And it was something along those lines. But anyway, he proved me extremely wrong that he is very capable of doing the dang thing. So glad he's here. Let's keep it going. Next topic here. So we talked about John Harbaugh. Divisional importance. So right now, man, if you take a look at it, of course, Cleveland's down at the bottom, as usual. You got Pittsburgh is tied with us, 1-1. But we got the Bengals sitting on top of the AFC North with the backup quarterback. Are they going to hold that? I don't think they're gonna hold it back. I think we coming, but we still got to put our foot on the gas. We still got tough opponents coming up. We got Detroit coming up, and Detroit is no walk in the park. No matter how many times we have played them and won, this one is a game on its own. And if we walk in there thinking we are owed this W, we will lose this game. They have entirely too many weapons between Amon-Ra St. Brown, who apparently was a Madden player made by his father, who just came in and just rips the league apart and can catch just about anything like Justin Jett. He can route you up. It is just a beauty watching this guy play. Then you got Jameson Williams, who is just sneaky good. They got tight ends over there. One of them named Tesla, dog, making circus catches on the sidelines. I mean, this is a beefed up squad, and I ain't even talk about the run game. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, come on. Whew. Absolute dog. We got some problems on our hands, and this is where Zach Orr is going to have to step up. We're going to have to find out what the Ravens are made of on defense, because if they don't figure that out, we're in a whole world of trouble, because this is the team that will not let off the gas offensively. Defensively, of course, they got some decent edge rushers, but I think we have what it takes to exploit their defense. We need this W because we still need to keep going in our division. Now we're talking about the division. The offense and defense both answered the call. This goes back to coaching. It takes a great leader to be able to look at a loss, evaluate the situation from a mental and a physical standpoint, and pull 53 millionaires together and to get them back ready for the next week, ready for a W. That takes getting all the coaches together and helping them to see, hey, this is where we screwed up. This is where we can get better. The scheme it had to be adjusted, obviously, because the Browns were run blitzing the Ravens and completely holding Derrick Henry to 7 yards the first half. And then a total, I think, he get 23 yards rushing. It was bad. It was extremely bad when we saw how the Ravens rush attack looked. They had no choice but to adjust, because Derrick Henry had 11 carries for 23 yards. Lamar had 2 for 13. Our longest run was 11 yards. It was sad. Even Zay only got 4 yards in. But it's great how the Ravens were able to adjust, and that took coaching adjustments. John Harbaugh, Todd Monken, getting in there and seeing, okay, well, that's what they want to do, then we need to go ahead and let Lamar go off. And so the game plan switched that up. This guy comes out there, goes 19 for 29 when it should have been 21 for 29, but there were 2 drops. It should have been a Jackson 5, but 225 yards and 4 touchdowns. He took 3 sacks, but that's okay. But he had 128.6 QBR. And let me tell you something. That puts him at the top. That brings him to the top when it comes to a particular stat, y'all. When it comes to a particular stat, Lamar Jackson, he was called a running back. He was told he should play receiver. He was told that he couldn't make it in the NFL. And now this guy has the best passer rating in NFL history. That's my quarterback, y'all. Oh my God. It comes down to player excellence, and it comes down to coaches believing in you. It's a team thing, folks. It's a team thing. And I tell you right now, when Lamar gets to talk about this best passer rate in NFL history, he's not claiming that. He's going to say that's the team. There's a lot of people out there that didn't believe in this guy. There's a lot of people that voted wrongly last year. That should have been MV3, but it is what it is. This is one of the greatest quarterbacks that we'll ever have, but this is one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history. All right. keep the party going. Got about 2 more things to talk about, and we up out of here. No, 1 more thing. Sorry. This one I kind of talked about already. Fan passion versus fan conduct. When it comes to being a fan, yes, we are about as passionate as they come. And sometimes, I'll be honest with you, I am not a fan of our fan base, especially when I went to the Chiefs game back in 2024. Took my son to the game. Our fans, they weren't the friendliest. They were trying to instigate fights in the streets as we were exiting the game. It was rough. It was rough being there in purple saying, hey, this is my flock. Because we don't know how to take it down. And I'm not saying we should, be happy about it now, but we should be sportsmen about it now. The frustration that pushed some fans to unacceptable extremes, including threats. Like I say, y'all threatened Miss EDC. The Browns win. It gave people a reason to celebrate, but the conversation, it shifted towards being passionate, and that's fine. But we can do that passion without endangering people, and we can have mature conversations with our people on Twitter, with the actual Ravens players and the Ravens brass and their families. We can do that. We can be better than what we have been in the past. So this is my message to each and every Ravens fan that is out there. Keep the peace. Have your opinions, but there's no reason to insult or threaten somebody else's safety or insult their character just because you have an opinion about coaching, players, how it's played, this, that, and the other. How you feel doesn't put money in your pocket, so why are you representing this daggone hard? I promise you that at the end of the day, this is just a game that we're supposed to be in, relaxing and enjoying and having fun with. They're out there playing the hard side and they're making the millions, but we are simply here to have fun and watch these games. Now, should you decide to go ahead and put money on it, that's on you. I'm sorry. that is your fault. But you still shouldn't be out here threatening coaches and players and players' mamas and all this other stuff because the things didn't go your way and you lost your ducats. That's your free agency. You should choose how you act, but recognize that there are consequences. And I hope that whoever threatens Mrs. DaCosta, you get what's coming to you. So that's tonight's show, folks. We are probably going to tune out here because I believe the other game just started, and I am interested in seeing how that goes because I think this may determine who sits atop the AFC West. So I'm hoping that you guys find a crew that can join in on this next show because we'll be here next week, same time, rocking it out. Y'all continue to have me falling off the couch. I appreciate the love that is here within this room. Y'all make sure you tune in next time. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and smack that bell so you know when it's coming down. With that said, give me 2 claps. Fade to black.
Introducing the Couch Rider Raven Report. Let's go. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, Ravens, hey, Ravens. We gon' ride out. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. Couch Rider. Ravens, Ravens, Ravens. We gon' ride out.
For some of you Twitter gangsters, this is just a hobby, original sports perspective. You can't stop me. Couch Rider Report, it's reflective. Please respect it. You will get checked, and your knowledge will be tested. I ain't the coldest Raven, but this is my show. Shout out to the Barry White rap for the beat, though.